Yeah, this is my escape, my refuge coming out in this kind of weather. I know a lot of people, when the weather gets like this, yeah, it's time to curl up inside, but for me it's like this is prime time for me to just get out and do a walkabout, get some things off my chest, clear my mind. And there's a lot of jerks out there. It's true, I try to be a decent person, a fairly nice guy. And, we're all human, we all make mistakes, but, yeah, there's some real jerks out there. In fact, I had somebody leave a comment on one of my videos, my trekking gear, my trekking bag video. And he basically, like, downplayed it like it's a worthless bag that's only good for using in Central Park or some kind of park, something like that. And I thought, what an odd thing to say, because I looked at his page and his videos, and this guy looks like he's never even been in the woods. And for him to make a comment like to me about my gear when I've used stuff all my life out in the woods and pretty much know what it takes. Anyway, where was I? My battery is getting affected by the cold and had to warm it up. But it just seems odd to me that someone that seemingly has never even been in the woods is going to tell somebody who grew up in the woods the value of their gear. It's just really odd, especially when gear is a very personal thing, although there are some guidelines you can go by with gear. It's very personal, and you got to know your abilities and you got to know your environment. But tell you what, it's a strange world we live in. People just think they know it all, and they can't seem to do anything without putting others down. And I'm just wandering around out here. And anyway, this guy goes on about first impressions and how he watched that video and it took the cake, and I guess that meant that's all he needed to know about me, was watching that video, and he could figure everything he needed to know about me and end the story, whatever. But really getting dark. Tell you what, first impressions. Here's something about first impressions. We're all born into the world, right? Pretty much the same way. What's your first impression of that? Here's my first impression. Childbirth can be a beautiful thing or it can be an ugly scene. It's all on how you want to look at it. We all come into this world bare bottom, kicking and screaming, depending on somebody else to wipe the snot from our nose and clean our bottoms. How do you respond to life, and how do you respond to others? That's your decision. Some people are coddled through life, and they could either be very generous and loving, or they could be spoiled, rotten brats, looking down their noses at others. And others come into this world struggling, disadvantaged, even malformed. And they could either be bitter and hard and jealous and resentful, or the beauty can come out of their hearts, and they can be very patient, understanding, and helpful people that you can learn a lot from. Decision is yours. That's my first impression. I know it's not true in all cases, but it seems to me like people who have really tried to live life and have had plenty of both success and failure and know what it's like to be humbled, these are the people that are more able to be forgiving and compassionate and less likely to be judgmental and to look down on people. But on a lighter note, speaking of the birthing process, I witnessed both of my daughters being born. And wow, it's quite an experience, I got to tell you that. But also, I grew up on a livestock farm, and I was able to witness many animals being born, different types of animals, and I even assisted in helping animals give birth. And I remember at one time we had this big sow that was giving birth, and I noticed she was really laboring hard, and so I looked her over, and I noticed that the pig's back legs were coming out. Now, if you know anything about birth, they're supposed to come out feet first and head first, so that they're actually in this shape. So that hooves come out first, and then the head in between the legs, and that's going to assist them in getting out. But when you have an animal that's switched around and the back legs are coming out, it's hard to get past the rump. Alright, it goes from skinny legs to that big rump, and it's just not formed in a way that's going to assist it getting through the opening. And with a sow, the opening's very small and fully dilated. It's just big enough for that pig to get out. So I had to go down there and grab hold of his back legs, because with a small animal, there's no way of getting inside and moving that pig around like you would do with a calf, say. You could actually stick your arm in there and assist in moving that calf around so it can come out head first. But with a pig, I had to grab the back legs and just gently pull so I don't hurt the pig and don't hurt the sow, and just give it assistance, and it was able to be born, and it was a successful birth. And it could have been trouble for the sow and the remainder of the pigs that were in her. But what am I saying? When you learn to appreciate life, when you learn the struggles of life, you can learn to appreciate people. And the little things count. I think I see too much of people just trying to wow each other, Wow, look what I got. Wow, look what I can do. And if that wow factor doesn't have a shared experience, I think there's a lot of vanity in it. Anyway. Alright, let's tie this all together. Long after being born, some people are still going through life with their ass where their head should be.